Okay, today we're going to be doing LeetCode problem 290, which is word pattern. This problem states, given a pattern in a string S, find if S follows the same pattern. What does that mean? Here, follow means a full match, such that there is a bijection between a letter in pattern and a non-empty word in S specifically. Each letter in pattern maps exactly one unique word in S. Each unique word in S maps to exactly one letter in pattern. No two letters map to the same word, and no two words map to the same letter. If that's not confusing, I don't know what is. So the first example, you see pattern is A, B, B, A. And then S, which is the string, is dog, cat, cat, dog. So the output is true. So basically, when doing these problems, it's the algorithm is what you need to learn. I have never in my life used this problem in real life. Mapped a letter to a string. But anyway, I digress. So A, we're going to map to the word dog. And then B, we're going to map to the word cat. And you can see we've got two A's and two B's, and two dogs and two cats. So that output is true. In the second example, we have the same pattern, but we have dog, cat, cat, fish. So that is false because the A is already mapped to dog. And then the third example is all A's, and so everything should be the same, but it's not. Cat, cat, dog, dog. They all need to be dog, or all need to be cat, but so that is also false. Okay, so here is my solution. And this can be done in fewer lines of code, but I usually split it out to make it more readable and understandable. So the first thing we need to do is take that string and put it into an array and split it by the space. The delimiter is a space. So if I use the first example, let's see how close I can get to that. All right, so we go past that, so we see the dog, cat, cat, dog. So it used to be string, now it's an array of string. All right, so then one thing we can note is if the word's length is not equal to the pattern length, it means we're going to have an odd number of words or odd number of patterns. If they don't match, then we can return false automatically. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a hash map, and then we're going to compare things inside this hash map. Now, why do we use a hash map? Well, a hash map you cannot have the same value twice. So in other words, we're going to map the letter A into the object, and we'll do a count of 1. And then if we get another A, then it'll remain in the same object, but the integer count will go up to 2. If that makes any sense. And this should clarify it here. So we see we've got an empty array of map. So we're just going to loop through, standard loop, starting at 0 for the index of 0. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go through the pattern. And I put this in result 1. So the pattern, the character at I, or character at 0, is 0. Or I'm sorry, the character at 0 is A. And I is 0. So if we step through this, you'll see that we have one object, which is A, and then count, or integer count of 0. Now the result, if there isn't anything in the pattern, it'll just return null. So a put function, let's say we get another A, so then the return value will be the previous value of this letter, I. So if we had another A, it would return 0 because that is the current value of what's in this map of 0. If that makes any sense. Okay, so now let's go through the words array. So words of 0 is going to be dog at position 0. So you look at the map, and now it's got dog 0. So we've essentially assigned A and dog together. They both have at the index of 0 array. All right. So here's where you could maybe consolidate the code, and you could just compare this to this and make sure they're equal. You don't need to do, you don't need to put them in separate variables and then compare them, but either or, this is a little bit easier to understand. Anyway, so we're just looking for the result value. In this case, they're both null, so we don't return false. So let's go on to the next integer, and now we're at 1. So pattern at character 1, this is going to be a B. And then words index 1 is going to be the word cat. So you see, now we have B is 0, B is 1, and cat is also 1, and it does this alphabetically. So we have A, B, C for cat, and D for dog. So we've assigned 1 to both cat and B. So now we just need to make sure the rest of the words array matches up correctly. So now we have, now here, this is where it gets kind of tricky. So we're going to come across another B. So the character at position 2, I is 2, is a B. So because we already have a B, it's going to return the previous value that was in pattern. So when we watch this, when we go here, now you see result 1 is 1, because that was the previous value of B, and you can see now the B is 2. And same thing down here, we have another cat. So it returns 1 as well, because the previous value of cat was 1, and now cat is 2 in this map array. Both are equal, so we can continue. And finally, we're going to do the last letter in pattern, which is A. And then you see here where it puts 0. This is a little tricky, but the previous value of A was 0, so that's why it returns 0. Now we're going to do the same thing with words at index 3, which is dog, and it also returns 0 because the previous value of dog was 0. And so those, again, are equal, and we've gone through the entire array of words, and then it returns true. And that's how that works. So let's run this to see. And it is accepted, passes all 3 cases. And if we submit that, well, we beat everybody, 100%. Okay, hope you learned something. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time.